Hi everyone, it's Jonathan here from Weave, and I'm joined by the CTO Andreas. We promised a dev update, so we just wanted to make a really quick video, really, just to let you know where we're up to on the actual dev side. We are going to have quite a lot more updates on the kind of community side, the growth side, and marketing and things like that. But really, this video is just for us to kind of just talk really about the actual underlying technology, because that is our primary focus. We want to make sure that we have a really, really good DApp and that it's easy to use and that it's like really robust. So that's what we've been working the hardest on over the last few months. I know we've been a little bit quiet on this front, so it's not because we've been idle. Far from it. We've actually been incredibly busy. And who better to really tell us exactly what's been going on but Andreas. So thanks for coming on, Andreas. I know you've been super busy on the build side, but thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I'm sure the community do as well.
Thank you very much for having me here one more time.
Great stuff. So let's just get straight into it then. So let's just start with what's been going on. So what exactly has been happening on the dev side in the last few months?
Yes, so to give you and the community a little bit of a bigger update, what we've been doing so far is collecting a lot of feedback from you. We already did some previews on what we're working right now, which is the version 2 of our D app. And version 2 of our D app includes a big overhaul of a lot of the code used and the technology used. So what does it mean, actually? It means that the feedback we got from our community, the parts where we are not delivered to the community's liking, or where maybe things could have been better, things could have been clearer, from front-end perspective, also integrational part and stuff like this, we really took this to our heart and we said, okay, the bear market right now is actually a really good time to step a little bit back and take the feedback so far and build on what the community provided us. And we always said we're building here for the community. Basically, our platform is useless without you guys really liking it and without giving you all the tools you need to use. So this is what we have been doing in the past few months. Our devs are crazy at work, doing a lot of things under the hood. A little bit from a dev perspective might go a little bit unappreciated what we're doing, because it's not easy visible what we're doing and it floats a little bit under the radar, but we have restructured our code base quite a lot. It's important for me also to emphasize one more time that what we're doing is something completely new. It's not like we're just forking another project and say, okay, they create a new version, so we are gonna do a new version ourselves. No, we are pioneering with our D app what we're doing so far, which will become also a little bit clear how our partners are amazed by what we're delivering. And this is on the Johnny's side and what he will tell.
People will, I think people will get a better understanding for how we're going to sort of integrate with other protocols and things like that, because we've got a huge amount to look forward to on that side of things. We are like really trying to go for this hub mentality where it's kind of like all of DeFi in one place. But the great thing about that is that we build on top of other dApps. So we're not, when people say to us like, who are your competitors and things, we would ideally partner with probably 95% of the DeFi landscape. If we, eventually that's what we want to become. So it's not that we want to compete with anyone. We want to integrate as many of those protocols as we possibly can. But it all comes back to, I'm skipping ahead there. It all comes back to the core technology, and this is what we've been focusing on. So I think just to really dig a bit deeper in the things that you've said there, Andreas, there's two areas basically where we've taken feedback and we've gone, okay, this is unacceptable in two areas. So let's just talk about each of those first of all. So one of them was on the pro side, which is the strategy builder itself. What we obviously have high standards for the DApp, and it was we were getting more, let's just say, more glitches than we were happy with, and that came down to the actual structuring of the code. So the word that you've used for me, Andrea, several times is you've gone through this process of refactoring the code on the strategy builder. So do you want to just explain, because that is the hidden thing. Obviously, people can see when we'll maybe show a little bit of version 2 in a minute. People will see the difference from the front end side, the design side, what's changed there. But the refactoring the code, people might just think that we've just gone quiet for no reason. So what is the refactoring the code, and why is it important, and kind of why has it taken, you know, quite a few months to actually do that?
Yes, so refactoring is in a simplest term, acknowledging the mistakes you did and the problems which are there, and resolving these problems, and taking everything what you've learned so far and make it way more robust for the ongoing future. So this is exactly what we're doing. With us is we are not like a traditional platform like you see Facebook, Google, all the big ones, because we're built on a decentralized level. But then it's also, we're not a traditional decentralized platform because we are not building on a few smart contracts, but the integration we are doing is super complex. And this boils down that, well, there is integration between our front and back end smart contracts, the underlying smart contracts we're building upon. And so there are so many layers which we are basically grabbing upon. Yes, exactly.
4 layers, yeah.
It piles up and piles up. And this is where we also got the user feedback that things are too slow and not responsive enough, and that a user does not see what's happening under the hood as much as we would like it to be. This is what we're taking. So we are gonna, what we're coming to basically our refactored code and our rebuild everything is gonna be with instant user feedback, which is quite important for us. This is what we got. So what we anticipated wrongly or did not anticipate correctly was the amount of knowledge users would have also interacting with the chain. This is a little bit me coming from a background. It's obvious for me, and we already with the team try to make it really simple, but we just need to realize that it was not simple enough, and it was not enough user feedback what we provided. Users really said this is not great for us. We can't spot steps in between. Yes, I could go there and see it on that website, or query against the blockchain myself and everything, but in the end it was not to the standards we would like to deliver. This is a big part where our refactoring comes along, but it also comes down to all the parts in between which are plugging into each other. We're making sure that these are operating as flawless and as quick as possible, reducing all the unnecessary wait time our users had, the uncertainties where you would need to go and check yourself, displaying everything and as much information on the front end as possible. And also what's important for us and where our knowledge which we gathered over the past few months comes in is that we're able with the new code to make something which will be robust and scalable, and way better scalable in the future. I think that the approach, or what's important here to tell, is that we are not building something which we're gonna refactor in 6 months again and say, well, that was problematic and we need to refactor that again. No, we are doing it in a way that we are basically creating something scalable for thousands of people, which was our approach also in the first place. But now to the scalability comes also the really, really easy to use mentality, which definitely we not highlighted as much as we should have in the beginning, and maybe created a little bit of a too complex workflow than it should have been.
Yeah, and a lot of that's in the back end. So, I mean, the way I would summarize it is that we learned a lot in the very, very early stages. As soon as we went live, there was problems from the front end for like usability, but there was also problems just in the actual architecture from the back end side. So we've kind of separated those two things and said, right, we need to make both of them better, both of them more streamlined. And so one of the key features for us is that this becomes easier to code on, but also easier to maintain, and that will have like repercussions, positive repercussions, really across the whole ecosystem. It means we can grow more quickly. It means we can do support tickets more quickly, everything like that. So it's just a lot more streamlined and a lot more robust, the code base. But yeah, it is one of those things, unfortunately, where like users in the community won't really see what we're doing in the background. It's been a big undertaking, but we'll see it, I think, going forwards once we launch version 2. So now if we think about the front end side, which people will see. So again, this was based again on feedback, particularly from more the passive side. And like the usability and being able to search for strategies and see certain data and things like that. We've taken all that on board, and we could have done a bit more on version 1, but we just thought, look, there's so many things we want to do. Let's just build this now the kind of the right way, the way that we want to do it, taking all those learnings. So that's why we decided to go for a whole new version, and it is a completely new version. So what were the kind of motivations and what's changed on the, I guess, the front end side, the usability side with version 2, Andreas?
Yes, so usability side, as you said, passive was definitely something which our users were not happy with. It was, again, it comes down to being a little bit too complicated for users to navigate through it. It was missing some features which our passive user would really like usernames, spotting creators of strategies pretty easy, seeing the performance of a strategy way more easier. And this is where we had one more look at what are we doing correct, what are we doing wrong, focus on the good parts and redo the bad parts, and say, okay, if this is not to our users' liking right now, then we should redo it in a massive way. And what we have so far, I would say, is pretty great. What we've built so far. It's definitely easier for our users to navigate through, to see everything, navigate through different strategies, spotting strategies from others. Also, the strategy builder got way more robust. So, as you said, work has been done on every single part. I would, with coming back to the fact that you don't see what's going on under the hood, I'm a fan of analogies and explaining with real world applications. So imagine you have this kind of old cars, you know, from your childhood, where you can just pull them back and they race forward, or you dip them with your hand. So we could have just slided them a little bit with our version 1 with our hand. But what we did is stepping back and really charging them up, while I said, well, and now we can integrate. And now they will really zoom forward. So this was basically the intention. If you want to think about why are you doing even this, why are you stepping back and investing time into a version 2 right now, this is to prepare for the future. And this is to prepare for everything what's upcoming. So we're way quicker with integrations. We're way quicker with everything else what's on our agenda, and really push that forward.
Great. So we're actually pretty close to launching this. So Andreas, do you think we'd be able to maybe just give a quick sneak peek so that people can actually see what it looks like a little bit? Maybe the strategy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay, great.
for sure.
It's great. It's great talking about it, but it's much seeing is believing. So
I hope you can see my screen.
I can. Yeah.
So first of all, what's important for me is there is a dark mode and a light mode, because I like the dark mode, but I know that
I like light. Yeah, I like light mode. So I think
people have their
mode
different opinions. The strategy builder from the core layout remained the same. I think that's quite important, that we don't overhaul everything. If it's working, that's okay. Keep it, make it nicer, but you don't need to redo everything. And users are gonna need to learn stuff. So this right now is our testing environment. So what you see is might be with a little bit of outdated data and everything, but this is to show the front end.
Yeah.
You have the same user experience as you had before. You can create your strategy by drag and dropping. One of the feedback was that it's really complicated to set up cards and you don't see everything. So we made sure that this looks nicer and is way easier for our users to set up everything in between. But in the end, the workflow stays the same. You create your strategy via simple drag and drop and save your strategy. And then we have a different kind of overview, which makes it easier for our users to spot everything with your personal, the live, the copied and everything, exactly with the layout like you wanted to have, with a small slide in to make sure, okay, you can spot what's going on there on the first glance without going too much into there, with a way more...
Andreas, you just clicked that then, though, didn't you? So if you just go back one, because I don't think it was necessarily clear what you'd done. So from your overview page, you can just click on a strategy just to quickly see it, like a snapshot view of what's in the strategy. And then you can obviously go in and edit it, but it's just to give you that snapshot. And this is quite important for when we come to filtering down the on the passive side. So those that want to just sort of copy farm, it's quite hard. We're going to have hundreds, if not even thousands, of strategies. We need two things. We need really good filters. So we need people to be able to filter by username. So this is what Andreas is doing now on the right-hand side with like comments and things. If someone, we want to work quite heavily with influencers and YouTubers, people like that. We want them to create a strategy. Let's say I created a strategy for TradeWise. If someone's seen that strategy and thinks, oh, well, that looks decent, I'll copy Jonathan's TradeWise strategy. We want them just to be able to jump onto the DApp, type in TradeWise into the search feature, and it will bring up my strategy. And then you can literally just copy that within about 30 seconds. So that's really, really key to be able to find strategies that way. But then the other part of it was if you're just bullish, let's say you're bullish on, say, Avalanche token, just for example, you need to be able to refine and look for different strategy ideas for how people are integrating just that particular token or that liquidity pair, without having to filter through hundreds and hundreds of different strategies. So we're trying to find lots of ways to filter down the cards, these cards here that you can see. So we'll try and improve these as well we want to kind of give as much information as we can without it being overwhelming. So we're trying to just keep this down to the kind of core information. But then if you click on one, Andreas, again, just one card, then again, you can just quickly see what's in that strategy. So again, within, a matter of seconds, you can have a quick look at a few different strategies just with the token that you're bullish on and see which one kind of suits your sort of appetite and your risk appetite, etc. So this is all much, much cleaner, much, much better than our original version. And we kind of already had this planned. We had this kind of, we wanted to do this for version 1, but as we were like refactoring the code and stuff anyway, we thought, let's just make it 10 times nicer, 10 times better, and just go all in basically on the version 2. So we could have added some of this stuff to version 1, which would have held up then the version 2. And we just thought, look, we're in a bear market. Let's just focus on building this and making it as good as we possibly can. So sorry, I interrupted you a bit there, Andreas, but I just thought because I kind of see a lot I see this a lot from the passive side point of view, and that's something that I'm sort of really, really passionate about. So it was me that kind of pushed the strongest on having this usability so that a complete novice can come in. They've maybe never heard of Weave before, maybe they've heard about it from an influencer, whatever. They can get set up, they can copy farm within like just literally a few clicks, and that's what we're trying to get to.
Yes. Also, like you're saying, improving the user experience in the first place when they connect to our website. We are gonna announce a little bit later, I believe, what our partner is also to improve user experience for people who might even not be familiar with setting up a wallet and with MetaMask, and what nice technology we're integrating there and what we have on that side. But yeah, for me, it's important to make clear that we are not sitting around, but we are working really, really hard in the background to improve constantly. We're taking criticism, we're taking all the feedback we can get, and we are integrating that. So I know that people, or maybe I'm not that active on the community side as I've been before with also answering everyone, but this comes down to we have so much work, we are still listening, I get forwarded everything what's being told, so don't worry about that, and we are still trying to make the best product out there possible.
Yeah, and just from a community point of view, actually, we are actually beta testing this version now. So there's still a little bit that needs to be integrated. It's not quite ready for launch yet, but we are keen for people to get involved. So if you'd like to help us, you'll be one of the first to actually test out the DApp. You can build some strategies. You can just help us testing different elements of it, but you can also give feedback if you feel like there's something missing that you would like to see. Now is the time to get involved and actually help us shape how this actually launches. So I'd really, really encourage anyone that's interested in like helping us to perfect this version 2. Please contact us via Discord, reach out to us, and we can get you added to the beta testing. I think probably by next week, Andreas, do you think we'll probably be ready to open up to basically as many people as want to do it? As long as you understand how to use MetaMask, we do have standard operating procedures on how to beta test and things. So even if you're a complete novice, you can actually come along and use it and things. And I don't want to give, I'm sure people are thinking, right, well, when will this be released? Obviously, the more beta testers we have and the more the community gets involved, the quicker we can move things forward because we get more feedback. We're not going to commit to a date right now on this call, but we're very, very close. The fact that we're now sort of ready for testnet environment, beta testing and things, should indicate to you that we are very, very close. And this will mean that we can get the community much more involved, because a lot of our community is more on the passive side, and we've not really been able to engage that much with the passive side, which has kind of been frustrating, but this will all change as we go forwards. Okay, so one question that I've got, because I have strategies open that I built obviously on version 1. For those people that have strategies built on version 1, what's the kind of transition like? Will people still be able to sort of see those strategies when we go from version 1 to version 2? How will it work? Do we need to close them off, or what will be the process?
Yes, so the process, like it's planned right now, and we're gonna testing it, is that people will not be needed to close their strategies. The old strategies will be operating based on the new data structure and everything what we've set up. So there will be no need for people to close up their working old strategies. They can just continue running.
Perfect. Okay, so nice and straightforward. And then just we've tried to keep it sort of short and a bit sort of light. We've talked a little bit on the dev side, but we've not really gone into too much detail. So I know you were thinking, Andreas, that perhaps there might be a better way that people, if they've got maybe slightly more technical questions or want to just dig a bit deeper, how they can perhaps reach out to you and just have a chat, maybe in a bit more detail about some of this stuff.
Was also thinking about this. Maybe a Discord event would be a great idea where people can directly connect with me and where we can really go into detail. I'm happy to get as technical as possible, but it's for this kind of medium on a short video, that's just too much. But we can definitely set up an event where users can ask me the really, really complicated questions, or if they just want to talk about how things will proceed and everything. Happy to do that. Let's find a date which suits us, and I'm gonna announce that on Discord and Telegram.
Okay, perfect. So perhaps as we go into next week, keep your eyes out. We'll make an announcement, maybe some sort of just drop in chat, voice chat, something like that, where people can just come in and have a chat to you. I'm sure people will appreciate that. But yeah, we wanted just to keep this kind of short and to the point. So yeah, thanks a lot, Andreas. Really appreciate the update. If you do have questions, you can obviously just tag us anyway in Discord and Telegram. We are around, so don't worry if you don't feel like we've covered anything off or you're unsure of anything. Please come into the community and have a chat to us there. But also do keep an eye out, because myself and Stephen and Harry, we're going to be rolling out some new initiatives as well on the community side. We're really, really, really hoping that everyone will start to get re-engaged again, really help us get the community active again, and then we can start really growing that. So, everyone in the community really can help us to grow this thing. Once version 2 goes live, we just want to shout about it from the rooftops. So please help us as much as you can with that. The more the community gets involved, the bigger we have as an opportunity to actually grow this thing as much as we want to. Watch this space for more information on that. But that's it for now for this short dev update. We look forward to speaking to you in our social media channels.
Thank you very much, and have a great day, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye.